Welcome, Gleb. Gleb, you are running Lufthansa Group's Innovation Hub, designing the future of air travel. What is your role exactly inside of Lufthansa Group?
The Lufthansa Innovation Hub is, if you will, the intersection between the global travel mobility tech ecosystem and the Lufthansa Group airlines and also other subsidiaries. From that starting point, we're here to kind of shape the tomorrow and day after tomorrow of Lufthansa Group. And thereby we are pretty much focusing exclusively on new digital business opportunities. And new in that context means it can be connected to aviation, but it can also jump right into other segments of the travel chain, for instance, inner city mobility. And with that in mind, we are fostering partnerships between travel mobility tech players and Lufthansa Group. We are strategically investing into these startups, and we are, and this is our focus, incubating end-to-end digital ventures for Lufthansa Group.
Mm-hmm. Gleb, I guess the most pressing topic for all of us in the larger travel industry is, when do you think air travel will get back to a normal state?
That's a big question mark, not only in the war rooms of airlines right now. So the only thing certain is that there is no certainty, obviously. But as we speak, we're seeing major airlines across the globe, especially also Lufthansa here in Europe, taking the first leap into the rebound. Yeah? So for instance, we at Lufthansa, as of next week, will offer more than 1,800 flights to 130 plus destinations. This is still a very small chunk of our pre-crisis schedule, but especially in terms of symbolic value, this is extremely important, both for the company as well as the customers, and we expect that to gradually increase in the course of the year on the global level, not only for Lufthansa, of course.
And what early indicators do you see if you look ahead, let's say, into 2021?
Well, first of all, we are seeing as we speak a deviation between the overall consumer sentiment towards travel and the actual booking figures. Mm-hmm. So if you do a focus group analysis today and you ask, be a travel or leisure traveler, do you want to board a plane tomorrow? The answer will be most likely yes. Mm-hmm. And this yes is getting louder and louder on a daily basis as we speak. Mm-hmm. However, this is not yet converting into actual business. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that obviously is the very high degree of uncertainty. Mm-hmm. Even the well-experienced road warriors are not so sure about, can I fly to Spain? Can I enter Italy with a EU passport? And so on and so on. So information and transparency will be absolutely key to convert that overall positive sentiment into actual business. And some bits and pieces around that. So for instance, our research shows that 75% roundabout of European business travelers are planning to restart their business travel activity substantially by the end of Q3 of 2020. And here, and this is an interesting fact to learn, small and medium-sized corporations are way more optimistic than large corporations, who usually have a way bigger kind of financial cushion to start off of the crisis. And last but not least, leisure traveler, as already mentioned, very interested in going out again, but their planning cycles, their research cycles are extending. So as of now, we're seeing more and more people already researching and booking trips in 2021. Okay. And this is a substantial indicator.
Gleb, now if we zoom out at the 30,000 feet level, bird's eye view, and fast forward not just to 2021, but 5 years ahead, what kind of long-term impacts do you foresee on the travel industry?
Nobody can say for sure, but looking at three important topics as of now, I can say the following. So business travel will definitely change. I'm not so sure about the business travel market shrinking overall in the mid to long term, but I'm very sure about the change of nature and structure in business travel. Not only because we're all now on Zoom and Microsoft Teams in the course of the pandemic, but more because of a potentially deglobalized mindset that is coming along with the crisis, or also because the topic of social responsibility and environmental friendliness will come back. Mm-hmm. Corona has wiped out the whole Greta Thunberg discussion from 2019 for now, but this is only parked. This will come back for good reason, obviously, and this will impact business travel. So that's the first aspect. Second aspect is the redefinition of the term safety on the go. So far, especially here in Western Europe, it is very much connotated with technical reliability and on-time performance. And with COVID-19, obviously, for the very first time, the whole topic of hygiene is entering the stage. And there are indications that certain aspects of that topic will outlive the peak of the pandemic, and this will probably be the most visible kind of effect long term. And last but not least, the overall role of digital across the travel chain will be extremely important. COVID-19 has not changed the way we travel. You are still boarding a Lufthansa group flight. COVID-19 has not changed the way we work. Video conferencing in HD quality for groups has been around for more than 10 years. But apparently, especially businesses and large corporations need a global crisis to accelerate their adaptation to these already existing technologies. And I expect that to happen systematically across the whole travel chain. There is so much out there that has been around before the crisis and now will be accelerated in the course of the post-crisis kind of rebound. Take self-service applications in the hotel sector. Take real-time information on capacity of airports, train stations, and other dense areas. Take the simple platforms of chatbots that have been around for 5+ years. All of that will come, and the adaptation and release cycles of the respective players will accelerate.
If you were the CEO of a accommodation or real estate related business right now, what are the 2 or 3 things that you would do differently? So
the first thing is again, very obvious, and I'm sure you've heard that a couple of times in the past weeks. Every crisis is also a chance, right? For creativity, for innovation, and so on. So all bets are off for now. Why play by the book? Be flexible, try out new things. For instance, here in Berlin, I've seen first hotels renting out their rooms by the hour in a kind of a co-working model. Will it save their bottom line for 2020? Certainly not. But the sheer act of experimenting and playing around with that, huge asset base that is there one way or the other, makes something with your mindset going forward. Extremely important. And the second aspect is the aspect of flexibility in terms of value proposition and target groups. So target groups especially were already converging heavily before COVID-19. And once again, the pandemic is accelerating this already existing trend, meaning that business and leisure are more than ever going together. And you have to be flexible to serve hybrid customer needs. So being flexible and being kind of adaptable is absolutely key, obviously not only for the hospitality game.
Last question, Gleb. What do you think about the COSI model and the future prospects of it in the next few years?
So first of all, I like the fact that you guys are totally in line with the trend of alternative accommodation. So we had conventional hotels for the longest part in time. We still have the Airbnb model on the other side, and not that much in between worth mentioning, to be honest. So from my heavy traveling perspective, I in general welcome choice and alternatives. That's the first point. Second point, looking closer at your specific model, I really like the emphasis of your digital touch points and the self-service opportunities coming along with that. I mean, hotel chains have been talking about unlocking your room with your smartphone for years. And we're here in the year 2020, it's still not a wide reality, right? So by emphasizing this, you are once again giving autonomy and choice to the customer. And even more important, you are obtaining a significant cost advantage on the operations side. And as we already discussed, cost management and cost efficiency will be absolutely key going forward. And last but not least, I really like the magnitude of your vision. You're not here picking out only one aspect of the hotel stack. You are here, at least in the long term, to digitize the whole value chain. And so far, I haven't seen a player with that kind of holistic view from a bird's eye perspective. And I really like that. Obviously, this is a hell of a challenge. It's probably the mother of all challenges in hospitality, but the time is absolutely ripe, and the time is more than ever ripe with that pandemic coming over us.
Gleb, that's a nice motivation for us. Thank you so much for being with us and sharing your thought leadership with our audience. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.